Hello and welcome back to the FPL Tom YouTube channel. In today's video we're going to take a look at the best transfer targets ahead of Game Week 30. In the video I have outlined 4 players that you potentially could bring in to your team for this game week. If you do enjoy the content that you see on the channel, be sure to like, comment and subscribe, as I do answer all questions down in the comment section below. We're also trying to hit 1,000 subs before the end of the season, so if we could do that it would be absolutely amazing. We had a super week last week in terms of subscriber growth, so if we could keep that up it would be absolutely fantastic. But that's enough waffle from me. Let's dive into the reason you came here, some transfer targets. And the first player that I have identified for you this game week is Julian Alvarez. I think this guy is a fantastic short-term punt, especially while Haaland is potentially out injured as well. A lot of us do have Ivan Toney in our team. A ban is upcoming for this man. My original plan was to get rid of him in Game Week 30 as well, as the fixtures for Brentford aren't quite as nice as they have been. No doubles as well upcoming for them, so it's a real opportunity to kind of remove Ivan Toney from your side. The original plan for a lot of people, I know a lot of FPL content creators, was going to be Toney to Haaland, but with the Haaland injury news that he could be out for a couple of weeks, we are going to potentially be looking at another replacement for Ivan Toney, and I think this man could be the ideal one. Julian Alvarez, like I said, he's brilliant. I absolutely love this guy. I think he's going to be a wonderful superstar player for Manchester City in the next couple of years. I think he fits the way City played the whole system so much better than Haaland. You saw it in the game at the weekend as well. Absolutely demolished Liverpool, just demolished Liverpool. He was involved in absolutely everything as well. A goal and assist for him. Wonderful, wonderful performance. And when he does start games, he gets goals, he gets assists. In the past 2 games that he started this year alone in the Premier League, 2 goals and 2 assists in each of them as well, like he's done in the past 5 game weeks as well. 2 goals, 2 assists, 22 points scored, and good underlying data as well to go with that. 1.97 XG for a backup forward is honestly just nice. Very, very nice indeed. Big fan of this man, like I said, especially with Haaland not being fully fit. There's a lot of question marks around him at the moment as well. Bigger games as well coming up for City. So Southampton and Leicester as well, 2 amazing fixtures, 2 teams absolutely struggling. It does look like Southampton are going to be the team that do finish potentially bottom of the league this season. Looks like they're not quite at the pace of everybody else kind of down there at the moment. So I do think that fixture is absolutely brilliant. Can see Alvarez starting in it and can see him absolutely getting a boatload of points. Leicester at home as well is a really good fixture. They're not having the best run at the moment, and they have sacked Brendan Rodgers as well. So a home fixture for Manchester City, you always expect them to do well. 6 million as well, no issue on the price point, and like I said, super differential as well in this one. 1.9%, ladies and gentlemen. This could be your golden ticket to whatever rank boost you want for the next few game weeks. Obviously does have a blank in Game Week 32, and that's potentially where you could look to remove him. Or if Haaland is potentially looking like he's going to come back, then Game Week 33 is where you get Haaland in, upgrade Julian Alvarez, use him as a placeholder for these 2 game weeks. Because like I said, a lot of us do have Ivan Toney in our side and are potentially going to be looking to remove him. So I think this guy just makes sense as a very short-term option. Like I said, brilliant player. Like, you can't go wrong with this one. So Julian Alvarez is my first transfer target for this game week. Let's move on to the second one. And the second player that we're going to talk about in today's video looked like a very good option before 4:30 this afternoon, and now he looks really shit. It is Bruno Fernandes. Now, the reason I've kept him in this video is I do think, obviously, today was a huge disappointment for Manchester United, losing 2-0. Bruno didn't have the greatest of performance as well, didn't create any XG, and only 0.1 expected assists, so not very good in terms of underlying data as well. But I am a fixture man. I am someone who is looking for long-term good fixtures to be targeting, and that's what Manchester United have. They have a nice 2 fixtures, then a blank, which isn't ideal, but they also have a double in Game Week 34 of Villa and Brighton. Everton at home is a must win. Same with Nottingham Forest as well. These teams are down the bottom. You've got to be beating these teams, especially if you want to secure Champions League football. Something that they've got to be doing especially after today's result as well. They've got to be getting these results now, whereas before they could potentially maybe just, you know, draw one of these, maybe a shock loss, but now it's got to be like, we've got to win all these games to get top 4. Other teams are catching up. Spurs potentially going to have a new manager bounce, doubt it, it's Spurs. But other teams coming up as well. You've got likes of Brighton as well, who are doing exceptionally well. Brentford as well, like with the games in hand that they've got. So these are the teams that are potentially going to be looking to catch Manchester United. Like I said, it's been disappointing for Bruno. As you can see over the past 5 game weeks, 0 goals, 0 assists and only 9 points scored. But I think United have only played 3 matches during those kind of like 5 game week periods that I use on the data graph. So obviously this data is a little bit skewed because he's only played 3 games, not played obviously 5 games like you would expect with most players over a 5 game week period. So I do think, obviously, don't kind of go down that old data route of looking at what's on screen and seeing like, oh well, he's not creating anything, he's not putting goals in. Don't go down that route. If you're going to just chase like players who are in form, you're never going to do well in FPL. You've got to find the next player who is going to explode. Bruno's got that massive capability as well, and with the fixtures and a nice double as well in game week 34. I do think that United players in general are a team we want to be looking to target. Yes, today was a kind of heavy defeat, not a great performance, disappointing, but you have to kind of rule out kind of any sort of emotion within FPL. Kind of look at what players you think are potentially going to pop off, and I do think Bruno is going to kind of secure some good points over the next few weeks. Obviously some really good fixtures, and that is the reason that I'm suggesting him. I don't think as well there are any other kind of real standout midfield options over the next few weeks. Maybe KDB you'd have to say with their good fixtures, but I prefer someone like ALVAREZ. I think he's a lot more potentially nailed for the next 2 than KDB. Obviously we've seen this season how much he's rotated in and out. I just don't think he's justifying that price. At least with Bruno, you are getting a nailed player every single week. So Bruno Fernandes was the second player that I'm going to recommend for today's video. Let's move on to the third player in the video. And James Maddison is the next player that I am going to recommend for today's video. He is a player that I did bring into my own team, captained him as well in this double game week. Hasn't gone great so far, has it? Only secured 2 points. Not great, not ideal, but ladies and gentlemen, like I always say, play the fixtures and you will be rewarded. And that is what Leicester do have. They have amazing, good, nice, juicy, long-term fixtures. Game week 30, they do play Bournemouth at home. City away in 31 is very difficult, so you'd potentially look to maybe bench him in that one. Game week 32, Wolves. So they obviously play in the blank game week as well, with a very good fixture, a potentially captaincy-worthy player during that game week. Then in game week 33, Leeds, and game week 34, no double, but they do face Everton at home. So if you want, maybe got a free hit, or potentially maybe a bench boost and you're looking for players to go on your bench, then there is another fantastic reason to buy James Maddison. Leicester at the moment are in a very precarious position. Every game is a huge one, a massive relegation 6-pointer, and they've got to be winning them. It's as simple as that. They have to be winning them if they want to stay in the Premier League, and this is the man that is going to be the kind of talisman to their safety. He's honestly amazing. We saw it in the England performance over the international break when he got his... Honestly, it was just brilliant. Like, he was honestly amazing. That's the reason that kind of convinced me to bring him into my team. Yes, the data over the past 5 game weeks is piss poor, not very good. The XA is pretty decent, not gonna lie. That's one of the main reasons that I kind of brought him in. Iheanacho just bottling chances is pretty much down to why that's so high, and he hasn't got many assists over that time period. But like I said, he's a brilliant player, fits the talisman theory that we've always been banging on about. Good player as well, and they're going to get this new manager bounce depending who they are bringing in. Haven't seen any names at the moment, so it will be interesting to see kind of who they do go for. But James Maddison was the third player that I'm going to recommend. Very good price, kind of low ownership at the moment. I think he's kind of at that point where he's you know, just over a differential, but is kind of creeping into more and more people's teams. I expect that to continue if he does start to kind of pick up momentum as well and head towards the 20%, where he will start to become absolutely essential, especially with some cracking fixtures coming up. So James Maddison was the third player that I'm going to recommend for today's video. And the final player that I am going to recommend for today's video is ANDREAS from Fulham. Now, you might be thinking, I just have this guy on my bench. I had him earlier in the season. Why am I bringing this guy in? Let me explain. Midfielder, 4.3 million. Absolute bargain, ladies and gentlemen. 1 goal, 2 assists, 17 points, good XG. Pretty average XA over the past 5 game weeks, but the reason I love this man so much is the amazing next 3 fixtures for Fulham: West Ham, Everton, and he also plays in blank game week 32 against Leeds at home as well, on set pieces, on free kicks, and with Mitrovic suspended, this man is taking penalties. He fits all the talisman kind of stuff that I've been banging on about all season for 4.3 million. It's just an absolute steal, isn't it? I think if you do have this man obviously lingering about in your team still on the bench, he's definitely going to be playing every single week for the next 3 weeks. Like I said, it's honestly amazing, the next 3 fixtures that he does have. As well, there is a little bit of a concern inside me though. Obviously, there is no Mitrovic up front. Willian is also suspended as well, so, you know, they lost to Bournemouth. Is there going to be as much creativity within that side? Probably not. Is this going to limit ANDREAS' potential chances for assists? Yes. But Fulham having an amazing season, and I definitely think they'll want to finish strong, go into the summer, convince a lot of players, you know, why they should stay with Fulham for next season as well. Real nice next 3 fixtures as well for them. So definitely be looking at Andreas Pereira. 4.3 million, honestly, ladies and gentlemen, for a player of this quality is an absolute bargain as well. And I know a lot of people going, has he actually scored that well this season? Well, a lot of people have been raving about McAllister and Matoma all season long. This guy's got more points than them. So that's all you need to say. That's all you need to say. How many times have we heard FPL content creators be discussing Brighton midfielders like Matoma, McAllister, saying which one's the best one? Look at these players. Who should I be bringing in? Yes, they've had doubles, so that obviously makes a lot of sense. But now that they don't have the doubles and the doubles are finished, I'm just saying, Andreas Pereira for 4.3 million. He is my super cheap option this week in midfield. If you're looking for a bargain bottom player who has a fixture in game week 32, has good fixtures for the next 3 as well, this is the man that you need to be bringing in. On penalties, on set pieces, absolute joke of a player as well, ladies and gentlemen. If you did enjoy the content on the channel and today's video that you have seen, then please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. As you can tell, my throat is a little bit raspy, getting over a cold at the moment, so it has been a little bit of a struggle to film this one. So if you do, you know, just subscribe. That'll make me a lot happier and help soothe my throat after this video. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you did enjoy, and good luck this game week.